We're reading this evening in the Gospel of John chapter 14, and this is part 2 of our new session that we're doing. And I want to go back and read a few verses again and share a little bit more in regard to the subject matter and the importance of this chapter in the Gospel of John, or Yahuchanan is his name in Hebrew. And verse 1 says, the Messiah speaking here says, "Let not your heart be troubled." You know, Yahusha and Yahuwah wants you and I to not let our heart be troubled. You know, he wants to bring comfort. He speaks words of comfort here to his disciples. And the words that he speaks here in verse 2 says, "In my Father's house are many mansions," or you could say many dwelling places. Now, he says, if it were not so, I would have told you. I go and prepare a place for you. Now, he's not only speaking to his disciples, but he's speaking to you and I as believers. If you're part of the body of Mashiach, if you're part of the church that he said that he would build his church upon the revelation of who he was, then he's speaking to you and I here. And he said that he's going to prepare a place for us. And he said he was going to come again and receive us unto himself. Now these verses here are speaking about the actual rapture of the church, which Paul made reference to in 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 13, that speaking about the day of Yahuwah, that before the day of Yahuwah would begin, that we would be caught up to meet the Messiah or the Mashiach in the air, and so shall we ever be with Yahuwah or Yahusha. Now this is what he's talking about here, where he would come again and to receive us unto himself. Now this is not the second coming of the Mashiach. This is not what the scripture talks about at the end of the tribulation, where he's coming back, because he's not coming back to receive us. He's actually coming back at that time with us, as the scripture says in the book of Revelation chapter 19. If you read through that chapter there, you'll see that the saints come back with the Messiah at that time, and he's coming back for the purpose of not receiving us unto himself, but he's coming back with us to destroy the enemies of Yasharel, and to at the end of the battle of Armageddon, to put a destruction to those that of the ungodly, and to rescue Yasharel at that time. And so there's a difference in the rapture of the church or the believers, and it's a different time frame set up here. And actually it will occur before 7 years before the 7-year tribulation, because as Paul wrote in the book of Thessalonians, that we, the church, are not appointed to wrath, and that's talking about Yahuwah's wrath. And the reason why is because Yahusha has bore the wrath of Yahuwah for you and I, that we do not have to bear the wrath of Yahuwah. Now again, this wrath that talks about over in 1 Thessalonians is not the rapture of eternal hellfire and damnation. It's the wrath of Yahuwah during the tribulation period. So Paul made reference to the fact that we had not been appointed to this particular wrath, because we've been delivered by Yahusha HaMashiach, the Messiah, and he's paid the price for our redemption, that we will not have to face the wrath of Yahuwah. Now, again, the Messiah, Mashiach, said that that where he is, where he was going here, talking to his disciples, of course, is in heaven. In his Father's house are many mansions, and that's where he dwells now. But he made a promise to you and I that he would come back for us to receive us unto himself, and that, as Paul mentioned in 1 Thessalonians, that once we're caught up to meet him in the air, so shall we ever be with Yahusha. And then, of course, we're coming back with him at the end of the tribulation to rescue Yasharel. As they call out to their Messiah, they're going to recognize the Messiah. They're going to, call upon him whom they have pierced, and he will hear their cry, and he will come to rescue them, as all the nations of the earth come against Yasharel to destroy them. And of course, they'll be defeated by our Messiah, our King, and he shall rule and reign on the earth for 1,000 years, as the scriptures declares, and we that are part of the church, or the body of Mashiach, will rule and reign with him during that 1,000-year period of time. We'll pick this up on our next session on part 3. Please share this with others. And I love you. Yahuwah loves you. And we'll see you on our next broadcast. Shalom.